games with New England, has seen some tough times in Las Vegas, and suddenly he's energized to come to Trevor Lawrence, Liam Cohen, and the Jaguars.
Yeah, it's amazing what just this one move like that can do. And then you also
hey, we're live. The Jaguars, big day, and you know I was going to be here for this. Fourth quarter, Jacksonville Jaguars. We're live streaming. We got a 34-7 lead in the fourth quarter. Back in the first half, I saw my guy, number 26, Antonio Johnson, AJ, intercept a pass. He sure did. He intercepted a pass and took it all the way for a touchdown. The Jags having a big day, and what better way to win the AFC South Division by really crushing a rival. Jacksonville Jaguars 34, Tennessee Titans 7. Trevor Lawrence had a good day. Now he's out of the game in the fourth quarter. Nick Mullins is in the game, and he just threw a complete pass into number 5, inside the 5-yard line. And man, the Jaguars with a big lead today. We'll put it up on the screen. NFL Jacksonville Jaguars clinch AFC South title today with a huge lead. Last pass was caught by Dwami Brown. Looks like we've got an injured Jaguar on the field. Looks like an offensive lineman. Is that Walker Little down, who's been playing right guard? We'll have to see. But we're live streaming right now. 1 minute into a live stream. We're brought to you by Saucer Realty and Capital for your real estate needs in North Florida. Browns leading the Bengals. Cleveland Browns 17. Bengals 12, fourth quarter, I believe it was. Jacksonville Jaguars first and goal inside the 5 on a complete pass from Nick Mullins to Dwami Brown. And somebody went down. Oh, it was 70. Well, that's not a good thing. Is that Van Lanen? Cole Van Lanen limping off the field? The guy they just gave the new contract to? I told Gaylor we needed everybody out of there at the end of 3 quarters. Now it's a fourth quarter, and Cole Van Lanen is limping off, seems to be bothered, limping, and seems to be bothered by his right leg. Oh, man. Gaylor asked me, he asked me like a half a quarter ago, middle third quarter. He says, what would you do? I'd get them all out of there at the end of the third quarter. Van Lanen got out of the game with about 8 minutes and 50 seconds to go in the fourth quarter. Let's hope he's okay. The kid just signed a brand new $51 million contract with the Jaguars. Now he's out of the game. Wow. Whew. Nick Mullins playing quarterback. Trevor's on the sidelines. Jags with a 34-7 lead. Here's ETN sweeping to the right. He's going to be forced down. He slides down around the 5-yard line. But we're on. We decided to pop on here with a live stream here in the fourth quarter, about midway through the fourth quarter. Jaguars with the lead. We did episode show, what was it? Episode show number 4 this morning. Now the live stream, we're calling it episode show number 5. That's Cole Van Lanen, number 70 on the sidelines, being kind of tended to. Let's hope he's okay. I mean, he was playing some great left tackle for the Jaguars. Jaguars got a new guy in there playing left tackle now. Here's a pitch wide to number 33. He's going to score a touchdown. Jaguars going to hit that 40-point plateau. Bray Shull Tootin scores a touchdown, and the Jaguars have hung 40. They've hung 40 on the Titans. The Jacksonville Jaguars 40, the Tennessee Titans 7. With 7:28 to play in the game. Looks like they had a bunch formation to the right, pitch it to Tootin. He cut it out, then cut it in and scored. That's the game clincher there. Man, couldn't you have Van Lanen out of there? He doesn't look like he's really hurt that bad, but he was limping noticeably. Extra point is good. Cam Little already hit a very, very long field goal in this game. Extra points good. Jaguars with a 41-7 lead. Tootin scored, and he was really untouched. It was a little pitch to the right. Tootin kind of was running, sweeping to the right, and then cut it inside and scored easily. And what was that? About 5 yards out, I believe. Jaguars got a 41-7 lead. We didn't like the last play, though. It looked like Cole Van Lanen limped off a little bit, but still under his own power for the most part. Let's hope he's okay. NFL football, Jacksonville Jaguars clinching the AFC South Division title today. Jacksonville Jaguars, now it's 41. Man, we got to edit the scoreboard again. My goodness, we got to edit the scoreboard again. All of a sudden, it's we've gone from 34-7 to 41-7. I wish Cole Van Lanen, I wish they'd have got him out of there at the end of the third quarter. Gaylor asked me, what would you do? I said, I'd get them all out of there at the end of the third quarter. But Cole Van Lanen was still out there in the fourth quarter. But let's hope he's okay. Jaguars absolutely clinching the division today. NFL football, Jacksonville Jaguars clinch AFC South title today. Jacksonville Jaguars 41, Tennessee Titans 7 in the fourth quarter. Jaguars rolling. Jaguars are now, we're going to have to edit this thing again because the Jaguars now going to be 13-4. 13-4, Jaguars rolling. Jaguars absolutely rolling with a 13-4 record. 13-4 record. That's it. 13-4 record. And AFC South Division champions. It's all but academic. They got a 41-7 lead over the Titans. This isn't even like the game where the Jaguars. Mike McCoy, who's the interim coach for the Titans, they're showing him on the screen. He's now the interim coach for the Titans, but he was working for the Jaguars as a quarterback coach for Trevor Lawrence from 2022 to 2024. So all these guys know each other. A lot of them know each other. They've either were coached by coaches from another team. The NFL players move around. Trevor Lawrence, big smile on his face on the sidelines. And 7:28 to play. Jaguars going to kick off with a 41-7 lead. Jaguars rolling with a 13-4 record. Absolutely, with a 13-4 record. Let's get that back on the screen now. Jacksonville Jaguars clinching the AFC South title today. Jacksonville Jaguars 41, Tennessee Titans 7 in the fourth quarter. When this thing comes to a conclusion, the Jaguars will have finished the 2025 regular season. Now we're playing the final regular season game in 2026. Jacksonville Jaguars will win their 13th game of the year. Jags have got to get some replacements out there. Number 22, Jerry Jones is still out there, but you got to play some of these guys. But this game is all but academic. Jacksonville Jaguars with the 41-7 lead. And while we're watching the Jaguars clinch the AFC South Division here on the Teal Shirt Report podcast from BigJReport.com on our live stream. Tennessee's got the ball at their own 41-yard line, clock winding down. Tennessee throws a little pass down the line. The receiver, number 17, makes the catch and runs up for 3 or 4 yards, but that's not a whole lot of big playing down the field. 6.5 minutes to play. The Jaguars going to absolutely celebrate an AFC South. The Jaguars would win 13 games. Well, our executive producer, JC, early in the year said, hey, he thinks they can win. What did you say, JC? Did you say earlier in the season 12 or 13 wins? Draft order, the Raiders. The Vegas Raiders going to draft first. Giants second. Jets third. Tennessee Titans fourth. Cardinals fifth. Based on the standings entering this week, the Vegas Raiders, they need some help. That's a bad football team. Giants looked okay at times, but they've had a bad year too. They're going to pick number 2 overall. We'll take a look at some scores. Atlanta Falcons playing New Orleans Saints today as the Titans are going to run a sweep to the right side. Jags defenders chase him out of bounds. I think Antonio Johnson, that time, AJ forced the running out of bounds. And the Jaguars, the big thing is the Jaguars got a 41-7 lead. Let's check some scores. Atlanta has got the football in the lead. I think Tampa Bay needed Atlanta to lose today, but Atlanta's winning 16-10, fourth quarter with looks like 9 minutes, 40 seconds to go in the fourth quarter. Atlanta with a 16-10 lead in the ball. Cleveland beating Cincinnati 17-12. Looks like Green, that big number 95 for the Jags, who's had a pretty good year. I've seen him make some big-time tackles this year. Dyke is at number 17. That caught the pass a couple of plays ago. Dyke coming to the sidelines now. The Jaguars got the lead. Dyke and Ayo Maynard. Are those both rookie wide receivers for the Titans playing pretty well? That might be the bright spot for the Titans here in 2025. But now it's the 2025-26 season now. January 4th of 2026. We had a podcast earlier this morning, episode show number 4. Our live stream is number 5. We'll run down some of the scores. Cleveland Browns 17, Cincinnati Bengals 12. 2 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Atlanta Falcons 16, New Orleans Saints 10. And we're absolutely here. We got some folks tuning into the live stream. Glad to have you guys here. We're celebrating an AFC South title for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Complete pass, and now the wide receiver breaks away and then finally clamped down. That was Martin Robinson, I believe, clamped down by number 21 of the Jaguars. Got a penalty marker down. The Jaguars have got this game sewed up 41-7. And it looks like there's going to be some type of illegal block or something on Tennessee, and they're going to be marching backwards. 21 made the tackle for the Jaguars. He got down low and flipped the wide receiver upside down. Prochet comes out of the game for the Titans, and the Jaguars got the game in the bag with a 41-7 lead. Tennessee still competing, though. But how many times did we see the Titans absolutely beat the Jaguars in big games, disappointing games? I mean, ruined seasons, pound it to the Jaguars. Now the Jaguars are doing it to the Titans. Nice tackle out there by number 25 after completion to number 2. That was Lane the third, big special teamer. Played his college ball at Navy, I believe. That's Lane the third, making the tackle number 25. So we appreciate you guys tuning in. I'm going to check the NFL scoreboard here on the Teal Shirt Report podcast from BigJReport.com. We're brought to you by Saucer Realty in the Capital, the Mad Max Mix.weebly.com. Mad Max, check his show out on Wednesday nights. Check JC out live the very next night, this coming Thursday, live from the pub with JC at LakeYuFallahits.com. Tennessee gets a snap off. They're looking to throw the football down the field, and they complete a pass out there inside the Jags 30. The Jags playing kind of probably a deeper zone and prevent at this point. They don't want to give up anything too quick, but the game is pretty much in hand at this juncture. Boy, that guy made a nice catch, number 5 for Tennessee on that play. He was well covered. Jags have really a good collection of defensive backs. And we saw our guy late in the first half, Antonio Johnson, broke in front of a guy, made an interception, and took it to the house. Antonio Johnson. And we told you, we thought maybe he was a steal in the 5th round about 3 years ago. And he was. 5th rounder out of Texas A&M, playing some good football as a safety for the Jaguars. Division leaders in the NFC, Seattle Seahawks are 14-3, Bears 11-5. They've clinched the division already. Eagles 11-5 have clinched their division. Congratulations, Big Bill. Big Bill, who watches our podcast, good friend of mine from years and years ago, and he's been a friend of mine for years and still a friend. Pass is deflected by a Jaguar. You know who that was. That was our guy out of Florida. That was number 51 out there. That was Ventrell Miller. Almost made an interception out there, but if nothing else, batted the ball down. He basically batted the ball down on an attempted pass play by Tennessee. Jaguars would like to get the football back and run the clock out. There's 2 minutes, 13 seconds to go. Anthony Campanelli and the Jaguars. Anthony Campanelli's done a really good job with this defense, especially with all the ample turnovers the Jags have gotten. They've improved this defense, no doubt. The Tennessee quarterback's in trouble, and he's going to get sacked. Big number 98, DeJuan Smoot, who Gladstone, he was a Buffalo Bill last year, JC. He was a Buffalo Bill. But DeJuan Smoot came back to Jacksonville. What a great signing by Gladstone. I'm watching Allen, number 10, the quarterback. Man, he got hit behind the line of scrimmage, and DeJuan Smoot got him. Smoot spent years with Jacksonville, in my opinion, was a Tom Coughlin pick many, many years ago, or a few years ago, when Coughlin was, still the executive vice president for the Jacksonville Jaguars. I believe DeJuan Smoot, who really had a chip on his shoulder, thinking he should have been at least a late first-round pick, and the Jags got him, I believe, in the 3rd round. And he actually signed contracts with the Jags 2 or 3 different times, and then finally had some injuries build up. He's worked hard to get through his injuries. He played for the Buffalo Bills last year, and now has come back to the Jacksonville Jaguars with the new GM, James Gladstone, signing, our guy, DeJuan Smoot, who got a sack just a moment ago. Big play for DeJuan Smoot. Jacksonville Jaguars with the lead. They are leading 41-7 in the 4th quarter. Time is absolutely running out on the Tennessee Titans. And time is also running out for the Houston Texans. Last I saw, they were winning, but they can't do anything about it if the Jaguars win. Jaguars win the division. They absolutely win the division. They control their own destiny, and a win over the Titans means the Jaguars win the AFC South title. Jacksonville Jaguars have a 41-7 lead. The live stream on the Teal Shirt Report podcast, episode show number 5. We're in the new year of 2026. You see it on the screen. The Jacksonville Jaguars 41, the Tennessee Titans 7, late now in the 4th quarter. Jags rolling with a 13-4 record. They're going to close out the season 13-4 with an AFC South Division title. So congratulations to the Jaguars, right? That's exactly right. Glad to have you here. We're brought to you by Saucer Realty and Capital for your real estate needs in North Florida. Also by the MadMaxMix.weebly.com. Mad Max's internet radio request show on Wednesday nights at MadMaxMix.weebly.com. JC live from the pub the very next night, this coming Thursday night, and each Thursday night at LakeEufaulaHits.com for JC live from the pub. Tennessee is going to kick a long field goal now. This one's going to be about 52 yards. They're going to attempt it with 2 minutes to go in the football game. Tennessee just wanted to put up some points, trying to get double-digit points. The kick is up. That thing looked like it was rolling to the right, and it's no good. Jaguars still holding them to 7 points. How about that big sack by DeJuan Smoot? And A.J. Antonio Johnson with the interception and pick 6. He took it all the way to the house. Now, you know, in the book, you know that in the talk, the Liam Cohen speech to the team after the game is going to be insane. It is going to be a celebration in the Jags locker room, winning the AFC South Division. Let's hope Cole Van Lanen is okay. Looked like he tweaked something, kind of hobbled off, limped a little bit. It looked like it might have been a left leg problem. I see the executive vice president of football operations with the Jaguars, Tony Pacelli, on the sidelines. Got to be a proud guy. I know he's concerned about Cole Van Lanen. Let's hope it's nothing serious and that he can get back on the field for the playoffs. Jacksonville Jaguars with a 41-7 lead, clock winding down. Liam Cohen's got things running through his mind. In the playoffs are just around the corner for the Jacksonville Jaguars. They won the division. There's DeJuan Smoot being congratulated on the sideline with that big sack. Nick Mullins, the backup quarterback, is in there. Looks like they're just going to be content to take the knee and run as much of that clock as they can. With 1:09 to play, Jaguars choosing just to run the clock out. Jaguars leading 41-7 on our live stream. And the Jags were like a 13.5-point favorite coming into this game. Congratulations, Liam Cohen congratulating Udinski, the new offensive coordinator here in 2025-2026 for the Jaguars. Nick Mullins takes a knee. I believe that was a third down play. I think the clock is just going to run out now. 29 seconds to go. The Jacksonville Jaguars are your 2025 AFC South champions. Fifth division title in franchise history. The first since 2022. Trevor Lawrence coming off the field. Our hope is Cole Van Lanen is okay. It seemed like he tweaked his leg somewhere on his left leg. That last possession, the Jags had the ball before they scored. Jacoby Myers, we see him on the sidelines too. Tootin got a touchdown. Tootin scored on that drive. And the Jacksonville Jaguars win this thing 41-7. Jags went into the game with a 13.5 point. They were favored by 13.5 points. The over-under dropped to like 46 in this game. The total will push. Boy, our guy, the guy that is our source, he's watching that line, and the over-under dropped from like 48, I believe, down to 46. Then he said the over-under will push at 41-7. That means it went over. Atlanta Falcons with a 16-10 lead over the New Orleans Saints. Time running down in the fourth quarter. And on our monitor, the Saints, looks like the Saints-Falcons game is on now. I think the Buccaneers really needed the Falcons to lose this game. Falcons make an interception. Boy, the guy went all the way down the sidelines. Almost as good as AJ, not quite though, because he didn't score. But the Falcons intercepted a pass. And that game's winding down too. But the Jacksonville Jaguars with a huge 41-7 victory over the Tennessee Titans. The monitor is on the Falcons-Saints game now. The Falcons with a 16-10 lead over the Saints with about 3 minutes, 12 seconds to go. Falcons just going to kind of run it on 1st and 10 and try to hang on to the football. Kirk Cousins, 19 out of 33 for 177 yards in this game. What's at stake? NFC South Championship. Tampa Bay wins the South if the Saints win. Carolina wins the South if the Falcons win. What is that, crazy? So the Saints win, Tampa Bay's in. If the Falcons win, Carolina's in, and there should not be any wild card from this division, as I understand, from the NFC South division. So if the Saints win, Tampa Bay wins the South if the Saints win. Carolina wins it if the Falcons win. So if you're a Carolina Panther, you're rooting for the Falcons, and they got a 16-10 lead in this football game. And now the Falcons, after that interception, are deep in Saints territory, wanting to run the clock and move the ball. The Falcons run it for about 2 or 3 yards. And the Falcons can line up, kick a field goal, and stretch this thing out to 9 points and win the football game. So we'll see what happens. We'll check other NFL scores. Like Cincinnati jumped back out in front of Cleveland. Yeah, 31 seconds to go, and all of a sudden Cincinnati scored to go back out in front of Cleveland. Cincinnati Bengals 18, Cleveland Browns 17 with about 24 seconds to go in the fourth quarter. So we got a chance to really give you a lot of scores here at the conclusion of our Teal Shirt Report podcast, episode show number 5, live stream from BigJReport.com. Special thanks to our sponsors, Saucer Realty and Capital, the Mad Max Mix.weebly.com. Max does a great show on Wednesday nights. JC live from the pub on Thursday nights. Falcons get stopped at the line of scrimmage, and then the running back kind of squeezed forward for a yard or two. And it's 4th down and 3. Atlanta's going to obviously try to kick a field goal and go up by 9 points. And that could be all she wrote. So we gave you the scenarios there. Falcons with a 16-10 lead over New Orleans. Time winding down in that game. The Cowboys have had really an awful season, haven't they? In the fourth quarter, listen to this, the New York Giants 34, the Dallas Cowboys 17 with about 4 minutes to go in the game in the fourth quarter. It's going to cap off just a miserable season for the Cowboys. The New York Giants 34, the Dallas Cowboys 17. The finals, well, it's not a final yet, but the Giants lead the Cowboys. New York Giants 31, Dallas Cowboys 17 late in the fourth quarter. Falcons going to kick a field goal to try to go up 9 points now. Here's the kick. It's up in the air. Looks like it is good. And the Falcons got a 9-point lead, 19-10. And let me see, if the Falcons win, the Panthers win the division and will be in the playoffs. The Saints don't look like they're going to win this game. There's like 3 minutes to go, and the Saints are down by 9 points. The Buccaneers, I believe, had to rely on the Saints to win this game. Meanwhile, the Jacksonville Jaguars, that's the great thing about having everything in front of you where you control your own destiny. The Jaguars win their game today, and they win the AFC South Division, and that's what's absolutely happened. By the way, the Houston Texans are still a hot football team. They're going to be a wild card. The Texans have a lead over the Colts. The Houston Texans 29, the Indianapolis Colts 27. About 4 minutes or so to go in that game. Right now, the Houston Texans, they've got like a when you talk about winning streaks, you talk about the Jaguars end up winning 8 games in a row. Right, the last 8 games of the season, the Jaguars won them all. If the Texans win this game over the Colts today, they will conclude their season with a 9-game winning streak, but they will still finish 1 game behind the Jacksonville Jaguars. Atlanta Falcons 19, New Orleans Saints 10. Falcons going to kick off with 2 minutes and 52 seconds to go in the fourth quarter. And the Saints down the kick win into the end zone. So the Jaguars with a big win. They win the AFC South Division Championship. Congratulations to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence, I think the last pass he completed before he came out of the game was a pass that put him over 4,000 yards passing for the 2025 regular season. We're live streaming NFL. Jacksonville Jaguars won the AFC South Division. Duval Teal Shirt Report, episode show number 5 of the new year 2026. Happy New Year to everybody. Saints got the football at about their own 35-yard line, and the quarterback throws an errant pass at it. It was intended for a wide receiver, but it was like a yard or two beyond and outside of the wide receiver, but the wide receiver was well covered. When you take a look at the NFC South Division, all these teams have losing records. Tampa Bay's 8-9, Carolina's 8-9, Atlanta 7-9. So you're talking about these two teams helping the top two teams, and the top two teams are both 8-9. There'll be no wild cards from the NFC South Division. And if Atlanta hangs on, as I understand it, the Carolina Panthers get the tiebreaker and they win the division and go to the playoffs. Playoffs when you're 8-9. Well, that's what's gonna happen. How about the Jacksonville Jaguars? NFL, Jacksonville Jaguars clinch the AFC South title today. Jacksonville Jaguars 41, Tennessee Titans 7. And it's not a fourth quarter score anymore. This is absolutely a final from Jacksonville at Everbank Stadium. So we've got to actually edit this thing and put the word final on the scoreboard. Atlanta Falcons are leading. Jags win on Sunday. Today being Sunday, January the 4th of the new year of 2026. Now, I believe when the live stream's over, you can still watch it. You'll still be able to watch it. Atlanta Falcons 19, New Orleans 10, late in the fourth quarter with 2:07 to play in the fourth quarter of that game. We got people coming in and out of the live stream. We appreciate you coming in. Thank you for coming in. Jacksonville Jaguars, Jags rolling now with a 13-4 record in the 2025 season, and the Jacksonville Jaguars win the AFC South Division title. The Jacksonville Jaguars clinch the AFC South title today. Antonio Johnson, big interception. Big Apple turnover that went for a pick 6. Trevor Lawrence, a good football game. The Jags defense only giving up 7 points. And the Jacksonville Jaguars beat the lowly Tennessee Titans 41-7. The Jacksonville Jaguars 41, the Tennessee Titans 7. Titans fall to, I believe, they're 3-4 team to end the season. Meanwhile, the Jacksonville Jaguars are 13-4 and the champions of the AFC South Division. Let's get the score back up there again. This is NFL football. Jacksonville Jaguars clinch the AFC South title today. Jacksonville Jaguars, I guess we could put Sunday on there. Everybody knows it's today. But the Jacksonville Jaguars clinch the AFC South title on Sunday. Glad you guys are tuning in. This is a live stream. Jacksonville Jaguars celebrating an AFC South Division title. And man, we appreciate you guys tuning in to the TEAL Shirt Report podcast, the 2025 season. Jags getting ready for the playoffs. Playoffs are coming up real soon. Jacksonville Jaguars clinch the AFC South title on Sunday. That's right, on Sunday. Jacksonville Jaguars 41, Tennessee Titans 7, a final score on Sunday, January the 4th. Huge win for the Jaguars. They clinch the division title at home at Everbank Stadium. Jags rolling. And I should say they finish with a 13-4 record now. Jaguars finish at 13-4 in the 2025 season. Congratulations to the Jags. Falcons are still playing. Falcons are playing the Saints. Falcons got a 19-10 lead. The Saints have completed a pass long down the field, though, but there's only 1:51 to play. Clock is running. The Saints are down by 9 points to Atlanta, though. We're going to go over the scoreboard here on the live stream. Jacksonville Jaguars with the huge win on Sunday, January the 4th of 2026. Saints still throwing the football. Quarterback completes a pass to the wide receiver down inside the 20-yard line. Saints got to score quick because there's less than 1:50 to play in the game, and the Saints are absolutely down by 9 points. Saints got to score twice, really. Saints the quarterback lofting it up in the end zone. Looks like it was caught by one hand. The receiver catches it. I think he scored with 1:11 to go in the game. Ronnie Bell made the one-handed catch in the back of the end zone. And now the Saints are down by 3 with 1:11 to go. The Falcons, man, they got to protect the football and run the clock out. I'm watching this replay. Number 85 caught it. Looked like the Falcon defender tried to hold his hand, but he still caught it. Bell, number 85 for the Saints, a one-handed catch with his left arm. Hung on to the ball, a little toe drag swag late up at the back of the end zone. And the Saints kicked the extra point. Now they made the extra point good. They're down by, let's see, the Saints are down when the Saints go marching in. Well, they marched in, but they may be out of time here. Falcons with a 19-17 lead. You got to think the Saints are going to have to onside kick it. Man, that was a heck of a catch. You'll see that in the highlights. Wherever you watch your highlights, you'll see number 85 with that one-handed catch. The Saints score, kick the extra point, but they're still down by 2 points. The Atlanta Falcons 19, the New Orleans Saints 17, with about 1:11 to go here in the game. You're tuned in to our live stream. Thank you for being here on the Teal Shirt Report podcast. And I want to thank our sponsors, Saucer Realty and Capital, the MadMaxMix.weebly.com. You can see our sponsors on the scroll on the bottom of the screen. We're sponsored by Lake Eufaula Hits. Check out JC live from the pub on Thursday nights. Mad Max with the MadMaxMix.weebly.com on Wednesday nights. And for your real estate needs, remember Saucer Realty and Capital. You'll find the website for Saucer Realty and Capital on our homepage near the North Florida weather forecast on our homepage at bigjreport.com. Jaguars finished the regular season with an absolute record of 13-4. We're gonna check some more scores out here. So bear with us a minute here. Looks like the Saints are going to try to squib one when they kick. Let's take a look. Saints with 1:11 left. The Falcons need to cover this kick with a 2-point lead. The Atlanta Falcons leading 19-17. I don't think the kick went far enough, but it was grabbed by a Falcon. The Falcons will be able to keep the football. How about that? Glad you're here. This is the Teal Shirt Report live stream. The Falcons cover the onside kick. That was Pitts, the tight end, number 8, played at Florida. Pitts, the tight end. He was on the hands team on the onside kick by the Saints. The Atlanta Falcons 19, the New Orleans Saints 17 with 1:10 to play in the football game. The Jaguars have already won and are now celebrating an AFC South Division championship. The Jacksonville Jaguars 41, the Tennessee Titans 7, a final score today on Sunday, January the 4th of 2026. Jaguars finished the regular season with an absolute record of 13-4, winning the AFC South Division. They're showing the Carolina Panthers fans who are actually at this game, they're excited because they're pulling for the Falcons to win. If the Falcons win this game, Carolina wins the division. Oh, man, at 8-9, you're going to the playoffs. You're going to the playoffs, baby, with an 8-9 record. Playoffs. Falcons trying to run the clock out, and I think they're doing it. 29 seconds to go. That's the final score now. The Atlanta Falcons and the Carolina Panthers win the division with a record of 8-9. Tampa Bay is 8-9 too. All four of the teams in the division finished with 3-3 division records. Carolina 8-9, Tampa Bay 8-9, Atlanta 8-9, New Orleans 6-11, finishing 2 games behind the top 3 teams. But nobody in the NFC South had a winning record. Meanwhile, the Jacksonville Jaguars win their division with a record of 13-4. Also, we want to check some scores because I think most of the final scores are coming in now. Hey, it looks like Indianapolis has kicked a field goal. They've gone out in front. Are they in front of Houston now? No, I'm looking at it now. Maybe it came off the board. I've got Houston Texans 29. Yeah, we better refresh the screen here. Houston is playing the Indianapolis Colts. It looks like Indy may have kicked a field goal. Let's see. Indianapolis Colts apparently have kicked a field goal, and they've got a 30-29 lead over Houston. Maybe the Jags, well, you control your own destiny. You win the football game, but it looks like Houston may lose. They're going to go into the playoffs as a wild card. But the Colts right now at this very juncture have a 30-29 lead over the Houston Texans. Titans at the Jaguars. I'm looking at some of the highlights now. Trevor Lawrence early in the game with a touchdown pass to who else? Parker Washington, 23-yard touchdown pass from Trevor Lawrence to Parker Washington. Here's another touchdown pass to Quentin Morris, the tight end number 80, a little later in the football game. And the kicker. The kicker, Cam Little, made a real long kick as well. Trevor Lawrence, 22 out of 30, 255 yards, 3 touchdowns, and I don't see any interceptions. The main interception I saw was a Jacksonville Jaguars safety. And you know who it was? It was my guy, AJ, Antonio Johnson, with a pick 6 for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jacksonville Jaguars, 41, and the Tennessee Titans, 7. We're a little concerned about Cole Van Lannon, the left tackle who recently signed a contract with the Jaguars. Looked like he kind of limped off the field slightly. To me, I don't know. I'm thinking about the way he was coming off the field. That may have been a right leg. And that's kind of a sad thing that he got hurt in the fourth quarter. But football is football, right? The Atlanta Falcons beat New Orleans 19-17. Indianapolis has kicked a field goal. They're out in front of Houston now, 30-29. Houston is going to be in the playoffs as a wild card. And man, there's some games going on today. Let's see if we can check some scores. Tampa Bay beat Carolina. And to have a chance to win the division, Tampa Bay had to win. And they did win. Tampa Bay 16, the Carolina Panthers 14. But then Tampa Bay needed the Saints to win too, right? In order to win the division. But the Saints didn't. The Falcons won that game. So these are some of the scores we're giving you from across the NFL. This game was actually, the Tampa Bay game was actually played on January the 3rd, which would have been on Saturday. Tampa Bay Buccaneers 16, the Carolina Panthers 14. We'll check some other scores. Seattle has defeated San Francisco, low-scoring game. Seattle has a good defense. Minnesota Minnesota Vikings 16, the Green Bay Packers 3. A final score: Minnesota finishes at 9-8. Green Bay at 9-7-1. Also, this was a Saturday game too. Saturday, January the 3rd, the Seattle Seahawks, with all that defense they got, the Seattle Seahawks 13, the San Francisco 49ers 3, the final score. So this is the last weekend of the regular season. Cleveland Browns and Cincinnati were going back and forth, and it looks like Cleveland has finally won that game. The Cleveland Browns 20. The Cincinnati Bengals 18, the final score. And the Panthers have won the division because Atlanta won the game against the Saints. If the Saints had won, Tampa Bay would have been the division winner. Boy, that was a great catch by number 85 of the Saints. They showed it again on the highlights like I told you they would. Pitts, the tight end from Florida that was a really high draft pick by the Falcons. He was on the hands team, and he grabbed the onside kick to preserve the victory. The Atlanta Falcons 19. And the New Orleans Saints 17. Giants beat the Cowboys. New York Giants 34. Dallas Cowboys 17. We told you about the Browns winning. Did Myles Garrett get another big sack? 23 sacks this season, an NFL single-season sack record for brother Myles Garrett with the Cleveland Brownies. So I believe we've given you most of the scores. The big score is the Jacksonville Jaguars win a football game, clinch the AFC South Division right here in Jacksonville at Everbank Stadium. Thank you guys for checking out our live stream today. Man, have a great day. I'm your host, Scott. I am absolutely your host, Scott, of the TEAL Shirt Report podcast. We have been live streaming with you. Jacksonville Jaguars win. Duval. Jacksonville Jaguars 41, Tennessee Titans 7. A final score on this Sunday, January the 4th of 2026. Jacksonville Jaguars finish with a record of 13-4. They finish with a record of 13-4. Finish with a 13-4 record here in the 2025 NFL regular season. And the Jacksonville Jaguars are your AFC South Division champions in 2025. That's going to do it for our live stream. Jags are in the playoffs. The Jaguars are well deserving of a playoff spot with a 13-4 record and an AFC South Division title. You guys have a great day. Thank you so much for watching our live stream. Episode show number 5 with this live stream on January the 4th of 2026. I'm Scott, your host, and hey, I'm out.